Hey, I hope you're doing really well. I wanted to talk about something today that feels really important to me, possibly because I've experienced it most recently in a really potent and obvious way in my life with uh, trackable, obvious, tangible results. And that's really the shift from incremental growth to a quantum leap or massive shift externally. And for most of my life, I would say I've done a lot of the incremental growth, especially when it comes to my business. I have been brought up in a mentality of like, you have to work hard, and that's really the only way to be in the world is to be a hard worker, and you have to do things that you don't always want to do. These were messages that I received, and also collectively that feels very much like a lot of the messages that I feel that we're inundated with. So I want to talk today about the quantum leap and the quantum shift that is no more of waiting for the change to have to be slow and incremental and like chipping away. I feel like most of my adult life has been chipping away at my contribution to the world with pure heart and pure devotion, but not knowing that it could be easy and not knowing the pathway to ease. So most recently, one of the largest experiences that I've had shifting out of the incremental growth into the quantum growth or the quantum leap has been in generating my entire annual income in 90 days. So that's no joke. And this is something that I did very consciously. It didn't just happen and then I was like, wow, how did that happen? That's amazing. Like, oh, isn't that nice? It wasn't like that at all. This was something that I actually devoted my heart and attention to. And now there's many reasons for that. Reasons all the way from I wanted to see what was possible because I believe that part of my interaction with this reality is to go to my edge and to meet my edge, to meet the level of discomfort, and then to go a little bit further, to go a little bit beyond the fear, a little bit beyond playing small, a little bit beyond holding back some of my truth. So this process for me was one of the deepest spiritual practices that I have engaged in a very long time. I was going to say ever, and I realize I've done a lot of intense and in-depth spiritual practice, everything from, vision quests and sitting alone for 4 days and 4 nights in a circle without food and nothing, essentially, all alone in the forest, to months and probably accumulation of years of ashram life and so many different austerities, so many different practices, meditations, healings, sweat lodges, things that I have participated in over the last few decades that have brought me to many different areas inside of myself. And this area of lack was, it was like a deep groove. There was some deep conditioning from my familiar lines around scarcity, around lack, and like I said, around having to work hard for things to happen. And those beliefs permeated so deeply that obviously they became what I thought was real, even though I looked out and saw other people doing things in other ways. So we know ultimately that that's not a big T truth if it's not true for everyone. If it's not gravity, if it's not something that is actually true for everybody, it is a personal little T truth. It is my truth, I believe. And when we're stuck in I, self-centered, based in separation, then we will continue in that incremental growth. It's really the union, the communion, the co-creation with our highest self, with spirit, with source, with the energy beyond the ego, the energy of creation. Whatever name you want to give that is totally fine with me. But that's what I'm speaking about when I'm talking about co-creating. It's co-creating with the energy beyond conditioning, the energy that literally grows the plants and the trees and keeps all of this phenomenal human experience in existence. And for me, that has taken a great deal of surrender and continues to, because it's layers, it's veils, it's these like literal koshas we talk about in yoga, these veils of existence that until we permeate and really get intimate with every one of these veils, there will be separation. And when there is separation, then we are rooted in the ego sense of aloneness, of I have to figure it out, I have to do it all on my own. And quite frankly, it's exhausting. I definitely exhausted myself at different phases and stages of my life, trying really hard, trying to get it right. My spiritual path became a place that I would effort and struggle to, be perfect. And I have these unspoken inner expectations of myself that went beyond, I was going to say, like, it went beyond discipline. It went beyond showing up fully into the realm of overexertion, which I see now is not skillful. Overexertion, when not actually required, is not skill, definitely not efficiency, and it's not required. And this is everything that I've been learning and experiencing when it comes to my interaction with life. So I really wanted to share this with anyone that was interested in the quantum leap, who also is maybe sick and tired of the like, that like chugga, 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 incremental growth, hustle, struggle. And I'm speaking to you if you have already done a lot of inner work, you have done a lot of growth, and yet there's that glass ceiling that you keep bumping up against. This is who I've designed this upcoming masterclass for. It's for you if you have been on a spiritual path, if you are self-aware, and yet there's something just out of reach that you can't quite access on your own. I definitely wasn't able until now to access this on my own. I've had support, and I'll talk about this inside of the Quantum Consciousness Masterclass, how that is one of the pillars to expediting the quantum leap. So if this interests you, if you're curious, if you would love to shift something in your life, it could be your finances, it could be your health, it could be your relationships, it could be your connection to the divine, it could be a feeling of victimization that just kind of hangs out in the background of your life, a bit of a feeling of like, I'm not quite in my groove, I'm not quite in my flow. So I've created this for you. I would love you to join me for this experiential class. I'm going to pull back the curtains. I really aim and intend to be completely open and transparent in all that I share and do. And this masterclass is no exception. I really want to offer you the support that is going to be the bridge to allow you to make that quantum shift in your life. And here's the thing. This is not a cookie cutter, if you just step by step by step by step. There are principles, I would call them more principles than a formulaic approach. So I'm going to share with you these principles so that you get to take them into your own life, your own being, digest them and embody them in the way that feels right for you. So this is definitely not about like, just do what I did. It's the opposite, in fact. And I'll talk more about that inside of the class. So I look forward to seeing you there. Let me know if you have any questions. This is going to be so charged, like I feel so alive with this topic and so excited to really bring you everything I've got inside of this class. So I look forward to seeing you there. Let me know again if you have any questions, and much love. Ciao.